Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. So in today's video we are going to paint iris flower meadow. This is going to be super simple. I wanted to do something else but I end up having something else. So it is always better to correct yourself and do in a better way. So we are going to learn many things in today's video. So let's start with today's video. So we are going to create some flowers. These are our main flowers. So for the iris flower, you can create a petal like this. This is upside petal. Then opposite to that, you can create one more petal. So this is downside petal. So these are the two main petals that we have. Now side by side, we need to create two more petals in the downward direction. So I have created two smaller petals like these, and then we are going to extend it and create a complete petal. So this is more like a twisted petals into it. So you can extend the lower line and you can create one more petal kind of shape. So this is more like twisted petal into it. So you can definitely try a little bit folds into the petals or twisted petals whenever it comes to the flower like iris flower or anything which has multiple petals into it. So perspective is important, but iris flower does not have so many perspective, I would say, rather than having multiple different kind of petal perspective in it. So we have created a flower like this. This is our main flower, and likewise we are going to create two more flowers which is on the front side. Then we are going to create a background having multiple flowers in a blurry kind of effect into it. So that is something we are trying to achieve here. So I'm creating one more flower, so repeating the same thing what we did in the first flower, but I have not created this time a twisted petal. A simple petal is fine. Now this is one more flower. Now let me create one more. So the difference I'm going to do is I'm creating two petals in the downward direction, as you can see, and I have created three petals, two smaller and one bigger in the middle. And you can do something like this as well, a simple form of iris flower. So these are our main flowers. Now you can think about creating leaf. So for this particular flower we need little longer leaf. So you can have different perspective of leaf as well. I have created a separate video around different perspective of leaf when it comes to the longer leaves like iris leaf. So you can definitely refer to that video if needed. Meanwhile, you can create simple longer leaf and pointed leaf like this in a different angle and direction. You can do a little bit of overlapping in between the flowers as well, and something like this you can do. Now with the help of pen you can trace everything quickly, because I want to keep these things more visible in my flower meadow. So I wanted to make it like more visible with the help of pen itself, and this is the easiest way to do something like what I am trying to do here. So I have created many videos in the past wherein I have created everything with the help of pen, and then I tried to add color a little bit around the flower petals and leaf area, and this technique is called line and wash technique. So initially I wanted to achieve that only. So my agenda was very clear. I wanted to create couple of flowers and leaves like I'm doing as of now, and then I wanted to use little bit of watercolor to make it more vibrant and fun. But I end up having something else, because this time I thought I need a little background with lighter shades of cloud color and lighter shade of landscape color, something like that, but that didn't go well. So let's see how we are going to do that. So I have traced everything with the help of pen, as you can see. Now you can do a little bit of more shading and detailing around the leaf and petal area. So you can do some hatching and cross hatching process. So hatching means creating parallel line close to each other and through this kind of process you can get little darker shade around your petal area. You can also create some pattern, and you can also have a little bit of texture around your element. So this is something you can do, creating parallel line and making the area more darker. And same thing you can do for the petals as well, like I'm doing. So I'm using very fine pen. If you don't have needle pen, you can definitely use normal ball pen as well to do these kind of things. It's totally fine to use ball pen as well to start with. Now I'm repeating the same thing for other flowers as well. Now you can see we have more visibility when it comes to the flowers and when it comes to the leaf. So this is something we need to do. Now one thing you can do from here is you can simply paint your flowers and leaf area, but we are going to do something different. So with the help of clean water, I'm trying to create some blurry background. So I have started adding more water at the background, and I'm using smaller brush, but to be frank it is better to use little bigger brush to expedite the process. But totally fine, I have started with the smaller brush, so I'm using that. So apart from the flower area, I'm trying to wetten the sheet thoroughly with the help of clean water, as you can see. So do it in your own speed, do it slowly, gradually. Make sure your sheet is completely wetted enough so that you can do some other things with the help of watercolor. So make sure your sheet is wet. In this particular process, you can definitely use masking tape. My initial idea was not this, so I'm not using masking tape, but it is fine because I'm working only in the center part of the sheet, so it is totally fine. But if you have masking tape, please use masking tape. Now I'm using bluish greenish color, so I have mixed green into my blue, and I have created very lighter shade of something like this. And I'm going around the bottom section of this particular flower meadow and keep adding the color because our sheet is wetted enough. So as you can see, it is spreading a little bit by their own and giving us a cloudy effect, which is good, which is nice, which is needed. So that is something I'm trying to achieve here. I want to keep things little on the lighter side, so I have used more water and less pigments of color. As you can see, I'm not doing anything in the flower area. And then for the upper section, you can use little different color to replicate the sky. So I'm using pink and little bit of blue and having very nice shade of light purple color or pinkish kind of color, and I'm going around the upper section. And again, because our sheet is quite wet, when it gets dried you will get more lighter shades of color into it. So don't overdo it. We want little fluffy and airy kind of background. So once it gets dried, it is going to look something like this. Now I don't want very hard frame kind of pattern, as we can see, so I have decided to make it little different. So I'm adding more water into my sheet and I'm using violet color and purple color to make a replica of iris kind of flower. So we have so many flowers at the background which is blurry. I think you understand my point, right? So you don't have to create flower as is. You can simply put some patches of color here and there. I'm trying to hide the side hard edge which we have created, which I am not liking. So I'm doing more flower around the edge of this particular frame to hide the frame part. And something like this I did with violet and purple color, and then with the help of green color just go around your leaf area and paint it randomly. You don't need to think much because everything we have already defined with the help of pen, so things are pretty much visible. So in this particular time you don't have to be very precise on these things. So I'm randomly adding colors into my leaf area. You can also add little bit of green color in between the flower area that you have painted. So these are flower itself, but background flower or blurry flower you can say. And as you can see, we have a beautiful background now, which I'm liking as compared to the previous versions. I think it is nicer idea to have something like this. And I have added green colors as well in between. As you can see, you can lift little bit of color from the area wherein you feel like you have too much water or too much color. So I'm lifting some color with the help of tissue paper. Now I'm done with the background. Now you can see how beautiful this background is. You can use hair dryer to expedite the process. So I'm using hair dryer so that I can jump into the next step quickly. Otherwise you can keep your sheet aside and wait until it gets dried completely. Now with the help of yellow color and with the help of violet color and purple color, you can paint the foreground flower as well. So I have used yellow color in the center part of the flower first, and then I'm trying to paint all the petals with the help of purple and violet color. This time I'm using more darker color, and we are doing this step in the dry sheet, so you can use darker color and you can make it more visible because these are foreground flower. We already have background flower, as you can see, in a beautiful way. And I hope you liked this technique to paint the overall flower meadow. So this is something new for me, at least, because I have not done something like this, using pen and then using watercolor, having a beautiful background and the colored flower in the foreground. So I really like it. So let me know how you feel about this particular process, and let me know if you have any feedback for me. And thank you so much for watching. See you guys in the next video.